Three guys who combined to play 15 seasons in the National Football League trenches. Well, two guys. And Mackey, who didn't do shit. This is the OLine Committee.
It's a Hot Take Tuesday, boys. Who's ready for a Hot Take Tuesday?
Spicy. Make it spicy, Mackey.
Also, I have a Fat Guy fantasy update for you guys on the show today.
We need this. I'm not sure I want it, but yes.
We need it. We need it.
Here, let me, for the YouTube audience here, I'll give you the visual preview here. We will give you a Fat Guy fantasy update.
Oh, look
Fat
at
Guy
that.
fantasy football through week 6. It's pie.
Was that a Kowalski's pie?
Is that a Kowalski shout out? Shout out to Kowalski's best pie you ever had in your fucking life.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
So I mean, listen, are we gonna slowly let him down and let him know about his bills? How are we gonna do? Hey, and I'm not gonna lie, Mackie. About 3 weeks ago, you and I were like, watch out for these Falcons. It's Bijan that's the one you need to watch, because if he gets going, boy, he's gonna make everybody's life real.
No one
easy.
disagreed with that take.
Well, I'm disagreeing with your take.
Nobody was like,
I'm disagreeing.
Alex, calm
with
down
the fact
with that
that you think
Bijan
they're going to be in the
Robinson
playoffs.
take. Like,
you think that team's going to the playoffs? You think that
Bills,
team's going to do it?
Did I not yesterday talk about how I was worried about the Bills' defensive ability to stop the run?
That's more than worried, buddy.
That's
you
the
lost
best part
to Michael
about
Penix.
this. What
I'm
Alex is
worried.
doing here is brilliant, because yesterday Jeremiah sounded the alarm for like the entire show about the Bills can't stop the run, and we're like, dude, you need to chill out. And today Alex is like, you think the Bills are going to make the playoffs? You're an idiot.
That's an instigator fight.
No, it's not. You were right. They were not only can they not stop the run, they don't know what's going on. Drake London was everywhere last night, and I was like, listen, guys, it's not hard, okay? You just find the number, and we follow him. That way the ball doesn't go to him. But no, it was the other way around, and that's where I'm going, listen, Josh can do a lot of great things, man. I've seen him do some. He drops the ball in the bucket like nobody's fucking
He didn't play well last night either.
But when you can't stop the other team's run game, it's over. You're not fighting the same battle that we are, because they're just going to run the clock down and they're going to beat on our defense for a long time. And then they're going to start firing in all cylinders. And it's like, okay, well, what do we stop first? Because we got nothing going over here.
But this also goes back to a little bit of my point yesterday when I was talking about the idea of not paying your quarterback $60 million.
Which we all agreed.
The Bills roster is not very good. Josh can go, okay, the Bills offensive weapons roster is not very good. Keon Coleman has not turned the corner like they planned on him being wide receiver 1 this year. Shakir is a very good possession receiver. He's not a huge difference maker. Right, Palmer is the same thing, kind of a position, not really a difference maker. So they're keying in on stopping James Cook, and they're saying, okay, we're not going to let James Cook beat us like the first 4 teams of the year did and just let him run wild. We're going to make this group of receivers prove that they can get open against man coverage, and we're going to blitz Josh Allen. Right. And that's been the recipe the last 2 weeks, and Josh has struggled. He's turned the football over. He's trying to put his Superman hero cape on a little bit too much, and then your starting run-stuffing defensive tackle pulls his calf in warm-up. You lose your starting Mike linebacker in Barner. Matt Milano hasn't finished a season in 3 years. When you don't have money to play with, because the Bills are the most strapped-for-cash team in the entire NFL.
And have been for a while.
You're 3 or 4 injuries away from this thing coming completely off the rails, and that's what we're watching right now with the Buffalo Bills. This bye week could not come at a better time for them to try and get some of these dudes back healthy.
It's a great point, and it's kind of like what the Bengals are going through right now, where it's like you're so strapped for cash that you're looking to Joe Flacco for help. Like, you are so strapped that you were like, we'll take the 45-year-old, bring him on down.
Isn't it funny how pissed Mike Tomlin is about?
Dude, we're gonna talk about that, and I know why.
That.
I know why. First of all, here's a guy who used to play the Ravens.
Weird.
That used to beat us all the time, and you just gave him to Cincinnati. He couldn't have been more like, we need to talk about this later. He was like, seriously, we need to bring this up in the owners' meetings about how this team just purposely tried to ruin our season by sending their quarterback to another team in the division. He was like, dude, in the division. I was like,
the best was at the end where he's like, y'all annoying me today. He's like, walked away from the podium.
I think, dude, I think he's been annoyed for. I actually have 2 hot. It's a hot take Tuesday.
Do it.
I have 2 hot takes off of this Falcons Bills game. I'll rattle them both off, and you guys can react however you're going to. And by the way, if last week's Hot Take Tuesday was any indication, These aren't hot takes. These are spoilers.
Spoilers, baby.
So, okay. Hot take number 1. Despite the early rockiness, the Kansas City Chiefs have already overtaken the Buffalo Bills for top of the AFC Mountain team to beat.
Yeah, dude, number one,
no.
defense. Yes, defense.
The Colts
Look at their defense.
are the number 1 team in the AFC.
He's talking about these two teams.
No, he's not. He just said
AFC.
the number 1 team in the AFC.
Yeah.
I am willing to say that the Bills, after last week's loss, were not looked at as the number 1 team in the AFC. The Colts, after this week's win, I would say that at this moment in time, the Colts are the number 1 team in the AFC with the Kansas City Chiefs lurking number 2 behind them.
Well, okay, yesterday I did ask you, take that take, and like if it's AFC Championship game, it's at Orchard Park, and you stopped on the Orchard Park thing and said the run game is a problem, and you were right. We saw it last night, but you didn't get to the Arrowhead part of that hypothetical. Okay, your Colts, Jonathan Taylor, Daniel Jones come bopping into, and actually, what's funny is the game would probably be in Indy. At this point, right?
We
what
did
happens
talk
in
about
that
this,
AFC
though.
title game?
We talked about this a little bit.
Anytime 15, if 15 gets into the dance, I don't know how you stop him.
Well, not only that, but dude, have you seen his receiving core lately? They're insane.
They're
they
better
keep
than
showing
they were last year.
Dude, they keep showing plays from the game, and you just see safeties taking off, like just booking it back, and you're like, this is how they did it for years. And maybe people haven't seen it for 2 years, but this is what they used to do with Tyreek. They used to be like, hey, as fast as you can. We'll get it to you. We will. Every play as fast as you can. Just go that way. And since they haven't been able to do that, everyone's starting to be like, okay, well, now what are you going to do? Because Kelsey's not open underneath anymore like he used to be, right? And you don't really have a run game.
It's just
Patrick
bubble
Mahomes
screens. It's just bubble screens.
And
it's
so
bubble
now
screens
that
and
they're
receiver
back,
screens.
Listen, I love the Colts just as much as anyone, but I am not going to sit here and be like, hey, they're better than the Chiefs after I'm watching the Chiefs gain more players every week. And you're like, God, there's no way they're getting a number 1 receiver back next week. Oh, wait a minute. They are. Okay, never mind. Yeah. And their defense, what they're doing, what Chris Jones did single-handedly, dude, come on. Like, he's pissed off. He's heard enough of the media making fun of him for being fat and lazy. And he's like, you want to see fat and lazy? I'll just work through all these dudes. He literally at one point went from the left tackle to the left guard to the center to the right. I watched him the entire series just go down the line. And I was like, God, he's not stopping. He got to Panay, and Panay knocked the shit out of him and was like, not over here, bro. Which
I'm going back over there.
He was like, you know what? I'll go back to the backup on the left side then. Screw this, right? But like,
give me Dan Skipper.
Come on, Skip.
Skip.
That's where it goes, right? Because offensively, they're both the same, right? Like the way the Colts are moving the ball, running the ball, and then play action, it's phenomenal. We love it. Their offensive line is sexy. For me, the X factor comes down to the defense. The fact that they have Chris Jones, the fact that they're so exotic that at times you're like, I don't know what they're going to do. And yeah, that's great. And they would have to stop the run. But assuming they stop that run against the Colts, that's where it's like, oh, shit. Now what? Now what are we doing, right? Because then Chris Jones pinning it back. Here we go. That's why I take the Chiefs. Even if it's in Indy, I think it'd be an amazing game. I just think the Chiefs would take that game.
I mean, you look at the schedules, though, and I think Indy's got a clear path to the number 1 AFC seed than Kansas City does.
Yeah, Kansas City has a muddy schedule.
Kansas City's got a really tough schedule to be able to say you have to play that way week in and week out. The Colts have a much clearer path just from a schedule perspective to go be the number 1 seed in the AFC. So I will give you, Mac, the hot take that the Kansas City Chiefs look more complete right now than the Buffalo Bills, but I still believe that the Colts are the number 1 team in the AFC.
My other one off that game last night, it's not quite as scintillating,
juicy.
but I don't know how you would quantify this, but I think the team with the biggest gap between how good they actually are and how little anyone talks about them is the Atlanta Falcons, because they've got that weird 30-0 loss on their resume. You're not quite sure if Raheem Morris is a great NFL head coach yet or not, but weapons-wise, running the football, Penix has some juice. Penix can play a little bit, man. Like he doesn't have to carry it, but he can play a little bit too. And they're sitting 3-2.
Mackie, don't let Bijan start to get you a little bit like, oh, this guy's insane, because it's like, all right, he's young, and I think that's why we're all kind of like, it's feisty and fun, but will it win? And by the way, you're in Baker's division, so have fun. And I know that at times, what was it, last year? I think Baker lost up there, right? Mm-hmm. Was that late in the season where they lost? Like anything can happen, but at this point, it's still like, hey, you're in Baker's division, and you need to show that you guys can do this week in and week out. Like the Bijan thing is amazing. The fact that he's been tearing it up this year, it's like this is exactly what they wanted to do forever with Arthur Smith. They just couldn't get it going. They could never get this going. And now that they're getting it going, it's like, I want to believe in them. But you just said it again, Mackey. Do I believe in Raheem Morris? I don't know. Like, I've never really seen him pull it off in a panic situation where I'm like, that's that guy right there. That he's the Dan Campbell. He's going to get these guys going. He's the Andy Reid, like the Sean McVay when he was young. When Sean was young, it was like, you're fucked. This dude's going to dice you up, slice you up, carve you up. Isn't he a D coordinator? And they're like last in the league in pressure. B-Flow. You're the defensive mastermind. Remember when they used to line 8 up? We used to laugh about it because it was like, oh, this is going to suck, right? Like they played the Ravens a couple years ago, and I remember going, holy shit, you can't stop Lamar. You just got to go throw a ton of shit at him, right? Like that's when it was like, man, B-Flow's a genius. Raheem Morris, what's your defense done? I'm waiting for them to they show up and dominate.
They drafted. I think Raheem Morris's defense is a little different than like the B Flows or the Wink Martindales, where he wants to truly generate pressure off his front four. Like that is what
he's a Vic.
And so yes, I mean that's what
Vic
he did.
Fangio.
That's what he did in LA when he had Aaron Donald and he had Von Miller and he had that whole crew. And so now he drafted two first round defensive linemen that are growing and developing in that scheme. Like I truly believe he doesn't want to be exotic. That's not what his DNA is. I think he's a pretty good head coach. I think you see the coaches, the guys play for him. He plays hard for him. And if I'm buying stock right now, I'm buying stock in Michael Penix. I think that dude is just going to continue to get better and better and better, strictly because he doesn't have to drive the car by himself right now. He just has to get the ball to Drake London, get the ball to Kyle Pitts, like get the ball to Bijan Robinson in space. Quick, decisive decisions. And yes, I know he almost threw the game away, like he had that one bad one. But overall, he's done this every single week, in my opinion. He's just getting better and better and better. And if he continues on that trajectory, yes, I think the Atlanta Falcons have a very good chance of making a playoff push at the end. I don't think they beat Baker. I think that is still Baker's division. But I might have to flip the Carolina Panthers and the Atlanta Falcons in my mind for who comes out of that division in number 2.
Hey, that's a good one. That's actually not a bad point either. Between like them and the Panthers are kind of like, all right, you guys are figuring it out. You're feisty. I like what you're doing. Can you continuously do it year in and year out? And you're right. Raheem Morris, he comes from a great background. Obviously, he was with the Rams where he was dominant. And it's more like, when you're looking at the team this year, I see them being more of an offensive team. And for a defensive head coach, I'd expect to see the opposite way. You know what I'm saying? And that's where it's like, at some point, you're right. His first rounders will figure it out. And I do want to like Penix a lot. And it's great that the fact that he can hand the ball off to Bijan. And dude, by the way, Tyler Algier, did you see him run through one of the safeties? Like
it's a great room.
Hey, Kyle Pitts, does he remind you of Julio Jones? Like the lengthiness of him?
Don't disrespect Julio Jones like that.
I'm just saying the profile, the length.
Well, I mean, he's huge, but that's everyone's been
that's
saying
my
that
point.
For 4 years.
How awesome is that?
Draft Kyle Pitts in fantasy. This is the year, and then he ends up doing nothing. Like
time out. That was with Arthur Smith. We are a totally new regime, and that's why I'm saying this is insane. That like what Arthur wanted to do for years is now happening, and it's like, why wasn't this hard for you? This shouldn't have been this hard. They're doing it really easily against the Bills. What? What is going on?
Okay, more hot takes. I got a hot take here off the other game last night. After a shout out to MyBookie here, mybookie.ag. So listen, if you're looking to make some money while you watch sports, Jay's gonna hate this, but maybe you're a college athlete looking at November 1st, 2025. MyBookie makes it very easy to get in on the action. College ball, NFL, super contest. They got player props, spreads, in-game lines. So here's what you do. Go to mybookie.ag, use our code OLine, and any bet you choose up to $500 is fully covered. That's mybookie.ag, code OLine, and you make your play. If it doesn't hit, you get it right back when you use the bet back bonus token. So football is it's right in full swing right now. We're 2 months into the pro season. mybookie.ag with the code OLine. And also, listen, all right, guys, let's talk about Rougiette for a second here. Championship teams, they don't win championships by showing up unprepared. And the same applies for your game in the bedroom. ED happens when there's not enough blood flow, often combined with decreased arousal signals from your brain. So it's part physical, part mental. It's not about age or losing your competitive edge. It's biology, and it's treatable. Rougiette Ready is the 3-in-1 ED treatment that actually prepares you for the moment. Rougiette is designed to prime your brain, boost blood flow, and start working in as little as 15 minutes, up to a 36-hour active window, so it's ready when you are. If you're an elite athlete, you dial in your pregame routine. If you want to be elite in the bedroom, think about your pregame routine by going to Rougiette.com. That's RUGIET.com. And get your game plan from a licensed ED doctor. Use our promo code OLine at checkout for a special offer. Treatment ships discreetly to your door. That's Rougiette.com. Promo code OLine. It's time to get back in the game.
Football. Yeah, it is.
That's right.
You know what goes good after the bedroom too, Mac? You know what feels good after you get your Rougiette, you get done, you get finished up? A Lucy breaker. Right?
Oh.
You go downstairs, you finish it up, you're sitting on the couch, you throw a Lucy breaker
You go
in.
downstairs?
Yeah, you go downstairs, you watch TV,
Oh,
right? My wife goes
that
to bed
downstairs.
super early. My wife goes to bed super early. So I come back down and watch the rest of the game, right? You go to lucy.co OLine, you use promo code OLC to get 20% off your first order. Each pouch holds a special flavor capsule, right? Can be opened, released for extra flavor and hydration. Lucy has a 30-day refund policy, so if you change your mind, you can send it back. But again, go to lucy.co, use code OLC to get 20% off the fine print. Lucy products are only for adults of legal age. Every other order is age verified. This product does contain nicotine, and nicotine is an addictive chemical.
What a night. I mean, think about all the things
That
right
would
there.
be a hell of a
That's
night.
a great
Jesus.
Friday night right there.
Hard to beat it.
Hard to beat it.
Okay. Hot Take Tuesday. The Chicago Bears, who are now 3-2, will be in first place in the NFC North sometime in the next month. Here's their
You stole
schedule.
mine. I was gonna say that at the end of October, that the Chicago Bears would have a better record than the Minnesota Vikings.
Well, that would.
Why
that
you
would
got to be an
to climb the
instigator
next
like
round.
that? That's an instigator fine right there. Talking to Mackey like
literally
that.
just said the exact same thing. Mackey
He
just
brought
said the
in the
exact same
Lions and
thing.
the Packers. He brought in
Yeah.
the Lions and
I
the
brought
Packers.
the-
So
I
he
brought
made it
them
more
all in.
dramatic. You just
You made it
poked him with the
personal.
Vikings. He did. He was literally
You
like,
made
"Hey,
it
Mackey,
personal.
your Vikings suck, and here's why. I guarantee you by the end of the month they're in last place." Oh, no way. The Bears in third and the Vikings in fourth? No way. I would never have thought that.
I said the Kansas City Chiefs have overtaken the AFC, and Jeremiah's like, totally agree. The Vikings suck. Like, wait a second.
That's not what I said.
So here's the Bears schedule, and I think
Mackey,
you're
full of it. You're out
the
of it.
Vikings play 4 like pretty damn good teams the next month, while the Bears play the Saints at home. Then they play at Baltimore, probably still without Lamar Jackson. We'll see. Maybe he comes back, especially at 1-5, 1-6. At Cincinnati, and then home against the Giants, who show a little bit more life now. But that's about as weak of a 4-game slate as you can get schedule-wise. There's a chance the Bears are going to be, if they go 3-1 over that stretch, they'll be 6-3. And the Lions, for example, get the Buccaneers this weekend. They got Vikings at Commanders at Philadelphia, Packers at Arizona, at Pittsburgh, Carolina, Philadelphia, New York. So they're not going to.
Well, see that one there, you said Carolina and Arizona they're playing. That's 2 wins.
That's why I'm not willing to agree with the hot take that they're going to be number one.
Yours
in
isn't
the
a hot take though. Yours
It
is just
is
poking
though.
an instigator.
No, it's
button.
not, because Mackey sat on the show and said that there's no way Chicago wins 6 games this year.
Oh,
At the beginning
I
of
didn't
this
say
year.
that, did I?
Oh man,
I said they're
you're-
not a
you're
playoff
digging
team.
Deep.
Nah, I don't know.
Hold on,
Mac.
what's the
check
stake in the beer?
tape. We might. Yeah, what's the stake in the beer?
Oh no! I said find me the 8 or 9 wins on the schedule.
That's what it was. You said find me the 8 or 9 wins.
Well,
and
here
here's
it
the thing:
comes.
when we look at this stretch of games going forward, no one anticipated the Ravens being what they are right now.
No.
Right? There wasn't a single person in August that was like, "Oh, Chicago going to the Ravens, W."
At
But-
Cincinnati, total. That's
Cincinnati,
totally different.
W.
No.
So it's definitely, things have changed and pivoted. But watching that game last night, you're seeing the steps in the right directions as a team as a whole for the Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
You're seeing them find ways to win games at the end. Yes, they're never going to. I mean, getting 3 turnovers is an absolute gift, and still only winning by 1 point.
Holy shit.
But they're finding ways to not be a complete trash show every single week, including Caleb, who's figuring it out at times while still taking too many sacks. He still takes too many bad sacks. He still holds on to the football too long, but you're seeing the potential of what he can be in the future. If Ben Johnson can unlock Caleb Williams, because that receiving core is nasty.
It's ridiculous.
Nasty.
Even like Luther Burden. I mean, it goes
It's
deep.
deep. They have a lot
you
of
have
depth.
Kmet, Colston Loveland, DJ Moore, Roma Dunze, Zacchaeus. Like, the list goes on and on. that receiving core is disgusting. And if they can continue to work and go, I can absolutely see where the Bears flip a corner and go here. But also, I think it can also crumble at any moment. Like, it's a very fragile situation in Chicago right now, in my opinion. It could crumble or take off, and we're kind of at that moment as we head into October.
To be fair, though, I think Ben Johnson's way farther ahead than I thought or any of us thought that they would be. Like, I think that when we were looking at this maybe earlier in the year, it was like Washington, shit, man, they're going to get stomped.
Well, week 1 and week 2 were so polar opposites, right? It was like they dragged the Vikings in the deep water, they let them off, and then Detroit just boot stomps them. Just absolutely no life. And now they've clawed their way back 3 wins in a row.
They're tough. They're tougher than they came off to be. And Ben's doing a good job of that. I think a lot of it, too, was Swifty yesterday. Like, dude, if you can get all these phases hitting, right, it's kind of like we said earlier with the quarterback. If you can get Michael Penix to get a little bit of a run game and get some of these gimmicks to show up, instantly it takes a ton off your plate. And now all of a sudden you don't expect Caleb Williams to have to do so much. You don't have to have him taking so many hits. But I agree, he's learning, dude. I think he's trying to do so much at times that you're like, just slow down. Right, like let somebody else do that. Throw the ball away. Get rid of it. Like, I get it. He's young. Ben's probably going nuts, but he was the guy for the job. He was the right guy for this,
for sure. So the question then becomes: are you more optimistic about the Bears, or are you more concerned about the Commanders after last night?
Dude,
that's the thing, because that game, you feel differently if Jaden Daniels doesn't mishandle a raining wet football while trying to hand it off. Like, if they get that handoff clean, they probably win the game. And
game's over. What are we talking about?
Don't get a field goal blocked.
Yeah, dude. Did you see that? Did you see that fumble? Though that was the 3 minutes left in the game. A random fumble. You're like, wait a minute. Did that just like the Bears almost couldn't have believed it themselves? They were like, this is storybook type shit. Like, we need to go out and do something now. Ben Johnson he had willed that into the universe to happen, but. It's the defense, I feel like, for me. I mean, I think Jaden Daniels is going to be a phenomenal player. I think that at times he looks great. They're slippery balls, wild things happen. For me, it's the toughness of the Bears that, like, you're right. The first 2 weeks were polar opposites, and they got boot stomped by the Lions, and now all of a sudden they're going in a rainy game in Washington. They're fighting and clawing, and you're like, hey, a little bit of fight here. The North is a little bit tougher than we thought it was. This is kind of cool, but can they sustain this for the year? Can they come up with more efficient plays on offense for he's not taking so many sacks? Because eventually, dude, getting hit that many times is not good.
No. I mean, you're asking for turnovers. You're asking for injuries
Trouble.
And everything in between. It's just, nothing good happens when your quarterback's getting hit that often.
No.
Jay, you've got some incredible quarterback research. Are you forming this into a hot take, or is this going to be halftime of Hot Take Tuesday?
I'm not sure yet.
What is this?
So I'm laying in bed last night after that last late Monday night game, and they're talking about
with your Lucy packets,
with my Lucy packet in, the whole bit there.
Take a pill,
right? So, and they're talking about Brian Callahan, right, and how Brian Callahan is now on the outs. See you later, and now what do we do with Cam Ward and the whole bit? And so it got me down this path, thinking, I'm curious. How many quarterbacks drafted in the top 10 actually finish their rookie contract with the same head coach that fired them? Right? Like, how many of those dudes that, hey, we drafted our guy, we got our guy, we're good to go. And so I want to throw it to you guys, and then I'll have a hot take after this. So I went all the way back to 2010.
Oh, yeah.
There's been 30 quarterbacks drafted in the top 10 of the draft since 2010. How many of those coaches do you think actually finished out those quarterbacks' rookie contracts?
One.
So this would be quarterback gets to the end of his rookie contract, and the same coach
head
is
coach,
still the head coach.
The same head coach is still there.
I'm going to say one. Less than five.
One.
Less than five for sure. Dude, you have to think about this, right? Sam Darnold with the Jets. Todd
Dude,
Bowles,
there's
a long list. Josh Rosen with the Cardinals.
It's under 10, right? Is it 7?
Trey Lance. Does Trey Lance count because he got traded?
Well, Kevin's not. He's not. Or what's
Kyle's
his name?
still there.
Kyle's not fired.
That's what I'm saying. He would be one.
But does that even count when you boot the quarterback? Does it count?
Like, that's what I'm saying.
They
when
both
you trade
have to
him
be there?
away.
So there's 10, right? So there's 10 coaches that actually went through and saw the rookie quarterbacks, 4 of which are still TBD with Caleb Williams or with Drake May, Michael Penix, JJ McCarthy.
Those guys don't count.
Yes,
Those
they
guys
do.
don't count.
Like they're still okay.
They
So
were a year ago,
here's
dude.
my hot take. And it's more of a question: which one of these top 10 quarterbacks gets their coach fired now that
Name
the
them.
Titans? So you have Caleb Williams already got his guy fired. So out of Drake May, Michael Penix, JJ McCarthy, which one of those three gets their head coach fired?
Wow. Oh my God.
Because by playing the laws of averages of the NFL here, playing the laws
Two
of
of them have to go.
averages here.
Two of them are going to go.
Two of them technically should have
So
to
we
go,
have
but
to
out
pick
of
two of them.
out of
Ready?
those three, because Caleb Williams already got Matt Eberflus gone, right? So out of those three, Drake May, right? Well, actually, excuse me, Drake
No,
May
Drake
already got
May got
Jared
his
Mayo
fired,
fired.
yeah.
So okay, so
Yeah,
it really only
he's
leaves two here.
I think
you
your
have
numbers are
Dan
off a
Quinn,
little bit.
you have Dan Quinn or JJ McCarthy. Dan Quinn with
Or
Jaden
KOC.
Daniels or KOC.
Wait,
I'd
is
have to
that
say
it? No,
KOC,
no.
dude.
Raheem.
Like-
Raheem is on there. Raheem is on there with Penix.
Yeah.
They've been together for 2 years.
Yes, so Penix.
And Sean Payton with Bo Nix.
He was out of the top 10.
Oh, you're right. Okay.
I only did top 10. I didn't do all first rounders because I think it's truly just the top 10 picks.
So Dan,
'Cause those
Dan
teams are
Quinn,
terrible.
KOC, Raheem
Sorry,
Morris.
Mackie.
The other two already got the other two.
The other two already got the axe.
Mackie, I'm sorry.
No,
buddy.
dude,
It's not
Listen.
going to.
Listen.
it's
Listen.
not. Kevin.
Can't make the club sitting in the tub, buddy. And if you ain't playing, a lot of questions get answered. as
But
to
they're
why
not
we
going to
bet.
fire Kevin if
It's
I
a
feel like Kevin's
hypothetical.
built up enough.
It's basically saying, hey, out of Michael Penix, who right now, sorry, bro, is playing and looking good. Like that's half the battle. You have to be on the field to make this thing work. You know what I'm saying? And who is the other guy? Jaden Daniels. And what am I going to think that he's going to have a stellar fall from grace? And all of a sudden, my whole point is JJ's not even on the field, and he hasn't been for the last 2 years. That's becoming a problem. If the three of those guys get asked that question, I'm unfortunately don't want to say this. I would say right now my answer would be KOC because JJ's not on the field. And that's going to be the first question. Why the hell is this guy not playing? At least
Don't
with
you feel like
Penix-
Raheem feels the closest? None of them are close to being fired.
None of them
No,
are close.
no,
Raheem
none of
feels
them are getting
the
fired.
most shaky ground.
You want to hear the craziest
really.
part of this stat?
Right now, he's laughing.
The craziest part of this stat is 13 out of the 20 were fired in year one.
See, that's the
That's the biggest
that's where you
part
don't.
here.
These organizations.
13 out of the 20 coaches that were fired in year one. Actually,
That's
14
Panthers.
because this
That's-
thing that I helped put together, it didn't have Gerard
That's
Mayo
gotta be
fired.
like
so Gerard Mayo.
Panthers.
So 14 out of them have been fired in year one.
Cleveland. Yep, that's a lot of
I
Cleveland.
mean, you
the
look at
thing.
some of these names, like you go back through down on some of these names, right? Like
Trubisky.
you have Blaine Gabbert, Jack Del Rio,
Jack
see
Del
ya.
Rio.
Right? You go down to Blake
By the way,
Bortles.
Blaine's the best. Blaine's the best.
Yeah, Blake Bortles. Jaguars,
He was a wild man.
right? Gus
That was
Bradley.
That was Doug Marone, wasn't it? Oh, Gus Bradley.
Gus Bradley, see ya. Right? You go up here, Marcus Mariota, Ken Wissenhurt from Tennessee, see ya. Right? And then you have Baker Mayfield, Daniel Jones, Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Pat Shurmur, Hugh Jackson, Todd Bowles.
Yeah.
See ya. Right? And so it's just amazing. You even go Bryce Young, Frank Reich. Didn't make
Dude,
it like
it's-
Oh, yeah.
6
but here's
games.
the-
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
now you're just going, well, what's the point? So if I guess another hot take is if I'm a on the outs head coach and I'm fighting for my job, I'm not drafting quarterback in the first round. I'm in the top 10. I'm not. Why would I take a quarterback for the
Yeah.
next person's regime? I'm going to go get me a receiver.
It's so
I'm going to go get me
backwards,
an
dude.
edge rusher. Like, why would I draft a quarterback for the next head coach?
NFL.
Well, I don't think
teams-
they think that. I think they think they're going to draft this quarterback. This guy's going to change everything, right? Like he's
But
going to
based off of this, why would you?
Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams is a great example. We're going to draft this guy. He's going to fix everything. 8 games in, they're like, listen, Eberflus, it's just not fucking happening, right? Like he wasn't going, we're going to get this guy for him. He was going, this guy can change everything. The problem is the development in college is so fucking bad. Maybe now they'll see it. Maybe now the fans will see. You're telling me that out of 360 million people, you can't even find me over 25 serviceable quarterbacks in the NFL? That's a fucking joke. That's the
But
biggest problem.
it's not the court. But here's the thing. Here's what we have found.
It could be
especially
any
with-
position.
with Darnold, with Baker, with Daniel Jones, with Mac Jones. Like this,
Even
season
Geno
is-
Smith a little bit.
Geno Smith, 100%. What? So it just get everyone. Let's take the emotion and the pressure and the impatience out for a second. Just get people in a room in the offseason, owners, front office, and say, do we all agree that quarterback is the most important position when it comes to winning in the NFL? Yes.
Yes.
Is it the hardest position in terms of all the things you have to be doing, on alert for, leadership, IQ, all these things, right? And do we all agree that it's super hard to learn and get there at a high level? It doesn't click right. Not everyone's Patrick Mahomes. In fact, based on those guys I just mentioned from this year, the guys who were cast off, it might take 5 years to figure out or more
right?
because it's super hard. So it's super important, and sometimes it takes a while to cook. Do we all agree? Yep. Okay. So then, if we're going to draft a quarterback, should you fire your coach 9 games into the quarterback's first season? And if your answer is yes, you should probably just do it before you draft the quarterback and align them together, right?
Yeah.
Well,
It's so dumb.
It's hard, though, to put the pressure of the fans looking at the owner and being like, we need to win, right? Like, they draft all these guys going, this is what's going to change this team. And then all of a sudden, when it doesn't work, because we've said this before, like, oh, this coach got to be patient, right? Young quarterback. And then all of a sudden, like you said, Frank Reich gets fired in 6 games. And it's like, well, that owner wasn't very patient. Why? Because the fans are booing him as he's leaving the stadium. Like, you forget there's X factors that these guys have to go to the dry cleaner and deal with somebody going, your fucking quarterback sucks. And he's like, I'm going to fire the GM now.
The really fun thing to look at on this list is the ones that did make it, right? So Cam Newton and Ron Rivera, right, goes on to be MVP level. Andrew Luck with Chuck Pagano, right? He goes on to there. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. You have Josh Allen, you have Kyler Murray, and then you have Joe Burrow, and then from there, and then from Kyler finished out his rookie contract under Cliff Kingsbury.
The whole thing?
Really?
Yeah.
Are we sure about that?
What?
Well, they might have extended him before he left, and so that might be why it looks like it. I think they might have got the extension done
Year 3.
Before
the Xbox.
Before they
found out he had an addiction.
Right. So
Xbox,
technically his rookie contract was over because they extended him.
Cliff made it 4 years actually. So
yep. And then again they extended him and then they handed him off and be like, now he's your problem, Jonathan Gannon. Right.
Actually, Cliff if I would have told you guys, Cliff Kingsbury, did he make it 4 years with the Cardinals? If I would have said no, right? He made it 4 years with the Cardinals.
It's the Cardinals, yes. You'd be like, wait a minute, they haven't won in a while. Yeah, you're right. He probably was there.
Yeah, I don't know. It just was super fascinating because I just don't understand the idea of if I'm Brian Dable, if I'm looking at, okay, what coach is going to be on the hot seat going into next year, why would I draft a quarterback in the top 10? Like, they're not going to help me win right now. No rookie quarterback, unless you're a true generational type guy like a Joe Burrow. There's just the numbers don't prove it. The numbers don't prove that the rookie quarterback's going to come in and save your team year one. Now, could a guy like a Will Anderson, could a guy come in like a Justin Jefferson or a Jamar Chase or those type of players come in and make an immediate impact, an immediate difference? Absolutely.
If
I'm there trying to save my job as a head coach, I am not drafting a quarterback in the top 10.
Okay, here we go. Ready? You're the Saints coach. And they go, all right, Jay, it's draft time. What are you doing?
They took Tyler Slow in the second round last year. No, you don't. You don't. You go buy one. You go get a quarterback in free agency to save your job as a head coach.
You go get Daniel. You pay Daniel Jones $50 million.
You go pay Daniel Jones $50 million.
They're not going to let Daniel Jones go, dude. What's his name? Just broke his eye. He's done for the year.
They could franchise.
Daniel Jones is about to get the big contract that Jay said that he would. You were right.
My number one plan is I'm signing a quarterback, a veteran quarterback in free agency.
Ooh.
That you have to see who's on the market. You have to see who's going to be on the market.
Looking right now,
Mac Jones.
Mac Jones signed a 2-year deal.
Mac Jones.
Signed a 2-year deal at the 49ers. That's why they were like, man, the Niners were smart. My point exactly. You are handcuffed because if you don't go get a quarterback, you make a guy like me go, is this dude even trying to fucking win? Are you for real?
Yeah.
You couldn't even like.
Then you take for Arch. You take for Arch Manning.
Once again, how many times do you hear people
in
say
one round?
Yeah, right.
Fifth. You can get him in the fifth.
You get him in the seventh. Listen, how many times have you heard generational talent? Caleb Williams is called generational talent by people.
Every quarterback in the top.
That's my point. That's how they get away with this. They go, "This is the generational."
You know whose fault this is? This is Mitch Trubisky's fault. This is Mitch Trubisky's fault.
This is the hot take.
This is Mitch Trubisky's fault because everyone passed on Mitch Trubisky. They passed on Patrick Mahomes to draft Mitch Trubisky, and now everyone falls into the trap of we can't let this next guy be the Patrick Mahomes. We got to take our guy. We got to take our guy. We got to take our guy because everyone thinks the next quarterback's going to be like the Cam Newtons, the Andrew Lucks, and all that. When they're not.
Yeah. And I still
you'll
think
know
there's
a
a world where if
generation.
Mitch Trubisky gets drafted by the Chiefs instead of the Bears, I don't think he's Mahomes, but I think he's like a starter and a good player. But he got drafted by the Bears.
I don't know
So
about
he's-
that, Mac. He was pretty rough. Like I'll be honest, he was rough.
Okay.
That was rough.
Maybe my hot take went a little too far.
I don't know. I think it's a really interesting thing. I thought it was a really fascinating thing that, it's just like, why draft a quarterback if you know you're getting fired?
Yeah, it is, dude. It's great. The OLine committee research and development staff there putting together some great statistics.
Hard thinking.
I have at least one more hot take for you. We also need to carve out time on our end to break down the 9 sacks that
Pie
the
chart.
Denver Broncos
Pie
had.
chart of blame.
Jets.
My chart of blame.
If there's a pie chart of things that you should be getting to winterize your summer toys, well, go to Menards. FVP Auto Parts and Menards partnered with us here at the O-Line Committee for this season. And that includes Splash ethanol-free RV and marine antifreeze. So if you use Splash ethanol-free RV and marine antifreeze, it's good for up to 75 degrees below 0 Fahrenheit. Please make sure that doesn't happen, weather gods. But if it does, hey, your swimming pools, boats, recreational vehicles, campers, vacation homes are going to be protected, again, thanks to Splash ethanol-free RV and marine antifreeze. So head to a Menards today, 15 different states, including Jeremiah Sirles territory in Nebraska and Boone and Mackey territory in Minnesota, and stock up on Splash antifreeze. Easy for me to say. Okay, next one. Football. We're going back to the AFC North here for this next hot take. Hot Take Tuesday in full effect. My hot take is that my hot take last week wasn't hot enough. It was too tepid. I told you last week the Patriots are going to win 11 games, and everyone's like, "Wow, it's a hot take." It wasn't hot enough. My hot take this week is the Patriots are winning the division.
Wow.
They're currently tied with the tiebreaker because, they beat Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
So they're both 4-2. And their upcoming schedule is
Crazy.
home against the Raiders. Or, I'm sorry, at Tennessee. And maybe Tennessee gives you the we just fired our coach pride boost this week. But at Tennessee, home against Cleveland, home against Atlanta, at Tampa, home against the Jets, at the Bengals, home against the Giants. That's the upcoming schedule for the Patriots. And they're already 4-2.
They probably lose 2 games in that schedule.
So that
Probably
would be
lose Atlanta and Tampa.
Okay. So then
I would
they
say,
would win 5.
Atlanta and Tampa, and they probably will be favored in the rest of those games.
So they'd be 9-4 going into the second week in December, with a win over the Bills under their belt.
All right. They play him again, week 16 or 17? Like later, right?
It's late now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be
in
so
New England.
That's
in
going to
New
be
England.
That's going to be amazing. Cannot wait for that.
If Buffalo can't get healthy, I don't think you're wrong.
You know what? I'm just here to piss off Jay. I think they are. I definitely think they're going to destroy the Bills. I think the Bills haven't been in second place for a long time. They used to see number 12 up there, but now it's a different number. And they're like, wait a minute, who is this guy? But welcome back. Not a lot's changed. I mean, dude, come on.
I'm not saying that wasn't a business. It was awful. It was not good last night at all. They're not healthy. Just like a lot of the teams in the NFL aren't healthy right now. But the difference is the teams that have a little bit extra money in the coffer and can pay a little bit better backups, they're actually able to scrape out wins. The Bills, they got nobody, man. If your starters aren't in, they're toast. And so if they can get healthy, they'll be fine. But if the injury bug continues to bite, they're in a lot of trouble. They're in a lot of trouble this year.
I mean, I wasn't thinking Carson Wentz was like a guy that we were going to splurge money on to win games, but he's doing it. And that's my whole point is like Carson Wentz is finding a way to do it with a backup offensive line. Like at what point is the Bills with this defensive mastermind come out of no
weapons with unbelievable weapons on the outside?
But that's the thing is like
unbelievable weapons on the outside.
They've never really had them. They've never needed them. That's what makes them the Bills. We always go, God, this guy is amazing because he could just drop it in the bucket. And the defense does what they do. And now we're watching the defense not do what they do. And you start to wonder, like, yo, how long is this going to happen for? Like, how long are we going to allow this to go?
No middle linebackers, really struggling on the safety end. They're just in trouble. They can't stop the run. And once you put blood in the water of not being able to stop the run, until you can actually do it, like I said, they're in trouble.
You know what's funny? The Patriots are kind of the Bills in that you've got this super dynamic, athletic beast of a quarterback, one that's like fully formed, the other one on his way. You're looking at the weapons and you're like, they got a running back or two, but beyond that, I don't know. There's just some random receivers and tight end out there. And then defensive-minded coach that is putting together week-by-week game plans. The Patriots are sort of like the Bills in the way that they're constructed right now. They're just
I would say the Patriots have better weapons than the Bills do. Between Booty, Diggs, Hunter Henry, right? I think Travion Henderson.
Yeah, if only the Bills had a guy like Diggs.
I was going to say, how funny is it that Diggs, we're saying Diggs is better on the Patriots and he used to be on the Bills.
So Keon Coleman, Khalil Shakir, Josh Palmer, Dalton Kincaid, none of those dudes make me stand up and make me want to shout. Like they just don't. They're not super exciting in that realm. And Josh not having a go-to guy right now, you can see him panicking a little more in the last 2 games than he has in the last year. Right, he gets back there and no one's open that he even can make a magical throw to. It's panic mode. It's complete panic mode. I can't fight that hot take, Mackey. I can't fight that hot take, but based off of what the Patriots' schedule looks like and where they go, I can't fight that take.
These aren't hot takes; they're spoilers. Remember, based off last
spoilers.
week. Boys, you asked for a Fat Guy Fantasy Football update, and the OLine committee statistician team has done the math on the. I think we're still waiting on some of the Commanders' numbers to come in from last night, but it's generally through the first 6 weeks of the season. That's right. We drafted offensive lines for all 3 of us, 4-team rosters. So we have 12 different offensive lines drafted. And the scoring is essentially there's a rushing component, there's rushing yards and rushing touchdowns that earn you points, and then negative things that happen in pass protection, like pressures, penalties, and or sacks allowed are
the Jets
decreasing
helped you out a lot
from
last
your points.
week.
What's funny though is the Jets are actually like top 5 in rushing yards on the season because Justin Fields and Breece Hall, etc. So I'm going to flip to the next page here. It's the raw data from the first 6 weeks, and remember that we're looking for high score is where you want to be at here. Here we go. So far through 6 games.
Oh my God.
Team Mackey has been dominant. Team Boone has been struggling a bit with Eagle. Dude, you got screwed by the Eagles.
The Eagles are the
Vikings.
Remember when you guys clowned me? Remember when you guys all clowned me when I didn't take them 1-1? When I didn't take the Philly Eagles 1-1, you guys
the Ravens are doing much better. Get out of here with
200 more points than your freaking Eagles.
Also, we may have to tweak the scoring.
Dude,
I don't know.
The Jets are doing better than the
heavy.
Ravens. How is this possible? The Jets are doing better than the Eagles. What the fuck? I'm not even kidding when I say this. This is bad scoring. Mackey, you're in front by 1,000 points, and I'm behind, and the Jets are in first place.
God, that Ohio State math's really climbing into head there. I'm only behind by 600 points, Boone.
Well, he's saying he's down by 1,000.
I said
Boone's
Mackey,
down by
you
1,000.
jackass. He's beating me by over 1,000. And how the fuck are the Jets beating the Eagles in anything?
The Colts, though.
In anything.
The Colts being my last pick, the mystery irrelevant Indianapolis Colts. Not bad.
Yeah, so the Colts.
Not bad, boys.
The Colts with almost 800 rushing yards and 13 rushing touchdowns are they're like the 3rd best team on here. So for me, the Buffalo Bills, the 9 rushing touchdowns, 900 rushing yards so far.
In 4 weeks. They haven't done anything.
Don't get sacked. He just doesn't take sacks. So there's still plenty of time. So you got to root for rushing yards, rushing touchdowns, and root against penalties, sacks, and pressures given up by the offensive line.
Do we get a waiver wire halfway through the season where we can exchange one team?
All right, you get at one point during the season, at any point, you can swap one of your offensive lines out for an available offensive line, but it's a permanent change for the rest of the year. Permanent
change for the rest of the year. All right, I like it.
You want to do that now?
I don't want to do it right now. I'm gonna sit with mine. We got to see. I think we have to do it by week 10. That's the cutoff. If you don't have any changes by week 10, this is who you got.
So if you only get one Eagles, I might buy low and put the Eagles on my team for the last week and a half.
Yeah.
So then who would you drop?
No one. Why would he tell you a strategy?
I'm not going first.
By the way,
You
the
get to go
Jets-
first because you have waiver wire claim because you're the
So
worst
I
team.
can't. So I have to drop my team first, and then like pick, and then you guys can
You
pick
get the
mine,
litter.
Drop
You
yours.
You get to pick whoever you
any
want.
other team. You can pick any other available team, and then if we wanted to, we could pick yours, or we could pick another team.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I know who I'm going to drop. Mac.
All right, I like it. Hey,
Yeah, Boone, your
I'm
problem
lurking.
is you got some teams that should be running the ball better and they aren't.
They
Like
just
you should
don't.
have 500 more points just running the football. And
the Chargers aren't running it
Sacks.
like you thought they were going to. The Vikings aren't, and then the Raiders.
sacks are killing you.
The problem with the Raiders is they're just so far. They fall so far behind. They can't rush the football. They have to throw it because they're just down 2 scores.
So there's your fat guy fantasy update there, boys.
I love it.
All right, that's a wrap on this Hot Take Tuesday edition of
That was
the O-Line
spicy
Committee.
today.
Click that like button, the subscribe button, and tell your friends about the O-Line Committee, and be on the lookout for a little film breakdown of an NFL team getting sacked 9 times in a different country. It's crazy.
Name the
See you guys.
Bills.